Hello and welcome to another training on the Framework Managed AI platform. Today we're going to cover tools. We're going to cover what tools are available, both built-in and integrated tools. We're going to cover AutoTool and how AutoTool works, and then we'll end with two real examples, generating a document from scratch and then filling out that document. So let's start by explaining what a tool is. A tool is an additional feature or function that's added to an AI platform that enables it to do more than what a large language model can do out of the box. For example, AIs are inherently pattern recognition systems. They can't generate code or produce files unless they have a function that allows them to do so. So we have built-in tools and connected tools. Built-in tools are things like code execution. This allows the platform to actually write and execute Python code, meaning it can create and update files for you. We also have web search enabled. Since AI is mostly trained on historic data, adding web search allows it to retrieve up-to-date information and act as a research assistant for you. We have the HATS Workshop Assistant, which assists us in building agents and workflows. More information on that in our Workshop Builder training. We have an additional web search, Google Maps, Google Weather, and Microsoft Learn, all available built in. From there, we move on to integrated tools. These are connections to other websites that allows the Framework Managed AI platform to either write or read or both to these sites. I have mine connected to Microsoft 365 to read emails for me, summarize them, and assist me in drafting email communications. I have it connected to ConnectWise, ScalePad, and Zapier. There are dozens of sites that could be integrated. What this means is that the site has worked together to provide a list of tool calls that it can run through the AI platform. So not every integration has the same amount of features. Some are more fleshed out than others, but connecting to the tool allows you to ask it, what functions do you have? How do I utilize you? So for example, I could go to tools, I can enable code execution, and I can ask it, what can code execution tool do? And it will read through its documentation, give me a little bit of information about what the tool can do and how to use it. You can do this with any of the tools. You can do this with the Office 365 tool, any of the other integrated tools, and it will give you a list of functions that it has so you can know if the task you're trying to do is possible in the application that you're doing it in. Can the Framework Managed AI platform do this task using this tool is a very common prompt that I use to make sure before I start investing time into building a complicated workflow. So now that we've talked about tools, both built-in and integrated tools, I'm going to talk about AutoTool. AutoTool is a function that allows the Framework Managed AI platform to automatically select the right tools for the job. I tend to keep this turned on at all times. It will automatically go through the enabled tools, select the tool that is correct for the task that I've asked it to do, and then execute on that task. A side benefit of AutoTool is that you can generally only have 3 tools enabled at a time, but enabling AutoTool means it can disable tools that it no longer needs, allowing you to use more than 3 tools in a single chat. Next, I'm going to show you code execution, a real-world example. I use code execution to generate files for me, whether those are project diagrams, proposals, spreadsheets. So I'm going to use this example prompt. I have AutoTool turned on, and I'm just going to paste in, using Python, generate a professional blank contract template as a Word document. Include sections for contract details, parties, scope of work, pricing and payments, etc. All fields should be clearly labeled, save and output the file. And then I just hit enter. Now, I did just run this exact prompt and got this output. It does take a minute or two to run, so for the purpose of this example, I ran it ahead of time. This is the document that I received at the end. This is a great example project contract, including contract details, parties, scope of work line items, pricing and payment, terms and conditions, signatures. It includes everything that I need to start filling this out as an example contract to send to a client. Now, we know that it's not always just creating the template, but sometimes you're filling out dozens and dozens of very similar templates. So the next step of this is to then use Python to fill out the contract template. So I copied and pasted this prompt. Now take that same contract template structure and fill it out as a completed contract with the following details. These are all example details. These are not legitimate companies or people. They're just made up for the purpose of this example. Save and output the completed contract as a new Word document. So it went through, it filled out every section of it, and I got this document at the end. The Managed Print Services Agreement, based on all of the information that I entered in the previous screen. It includes contract details, the parties, the scope of work with the table filled out, pricing and payments, terms and conditions, all the way down to the signature with the information automatically filled in. In this way, I was able to connect to the Framework Managed AI platform, enable Auto Tool so that the platform had access to Python, generate the example contract, generate the filled out contract based on information I provided, and now I have a process that I can use to easily create example documentation and then fill out that documentation. The next step in this would be to save this as an agent if this is something that you're going to do on a recurring basis so that you don't need to train the AI on what your task is. You just save the instructions to the agent, and now you have a repetitive process you can do to very quickly create example templates and then fill those out on the back half. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.